Hi, so welcome to our last yoga for this week of the challenge. And I thought I'd make it not just a restorative, but actually a chair yoga. So that's why I'm just kicking back here on my chair. So it's something, okay, you may be sick of sitting in a chair at the moment, that's fine. If you really are not into this, then feel free to do one of the other yoga classes again. This one is basically something that you can do at your desk if you've got a few moments, and rather than get up and actually sit down for a yoga practice, actually be able to do little things at the desk while you're there. So this can come back into your day rather than just be a half hour that you set aside for yoga. You can incorporate this into your day throughout the day. So even if it's not, something exciting for your challenge, it's actually going to be hugely, well, it can be if you use it, hugely beneficial for as you move through the rest of your working days. Cool? So we are actually going to begin how we usually begin. So it is that moment of connecting to the breath. So the feet are just hip distance apart, sitting up comfortably. So even if you're not like leaning back and just sort of lounging in your chair, sit up tall. Relax the shoulders, lifting up through the center of the chest and the crown of the head. And rest the hands wherever it's comfortable, closing the eyes. Just take that moment to really tap into the breathing, to center yourself. That's what it is. It's that time in where you let go of the outside stuff and just come into this present moment and into what's happening within the body, and then we work with what we have. Good, so we take 2 more deep breaths, just sitting here, reconnecting to the moment, inhaling through the nose. Feel the expansion, and exhale through the nose. Let the body release and relax. 1 more deep breath in, and full breath out. Good, then we inhale to lift the hands high, reach up. Exhale, interlace the fingers, turn the palms to the sky. So you're pulling shoulder blades down, reach up with the hands. So, most people probably do this anyway, but try to keep sitting up tall. So rather than finding any little arch for the moment, we just lift, deep breaths. So we stay connected to the breathing, pull the shoulder blades down, try to turn those armpits towards each other. So rather than letting it kind of flare out and jack the shoulders up towards your ears, keep the shoulders down and release. Good, then from there, we release the hands. Inhale to lift up, and exhale, reach the hands around to the back of the chair. So I might actually turn the chair sideways for you. So we're catching a hold of the back of the chair. Good, and then from there, lean it forward with the center of the chest. So you're catching the chair, but push forward with the center of the chest. So now this is your moment to get that little bit of an arch, a little bit of a back bend. So leaning away. So hopefully your chair is a little more steady than mine. Mine just wants to come with me. So even if you need to push your bottom a little further back. And keep the breath full, so expand into the sides of the ribs. Deep breath. There's 2 more here. And last one. Nice. So hold it as long as you like if you're just doing this regularly. And then from there, you come back to center, release the hands. This is going to be a bit like this the whole thing, I think. Inhale to lift up. Good, and then we exhale, take the left hand onto the right side of your chair. The right hand will either catch directly behind you, or even if you can reach, back to the other side. Try to keep those knees together rather than letting the hips follow through. So catch the back of the chair and the side of the chair, and use that as a little bit of leverage for that twist. So remember our twist, we're looking over the right shoulder if we're turning the upper body to the right. So lift up through the crown of the head, gaze over that right shoulder, sitting up tall to find that twist. And 2 more breaths here. lift up through center, and exhale to switch sides. So catching a hold, the back of the chair and the edge of the chair, and twist it out, looking over the left shoulder. So we keep the gaze steady, keep the spine long. And 4 more here. So allow the hips to stay facing forward even though the ribs are turning to the back or to the side. And just 2 more here. And last one. Good. Then we inhale to gently release, unwind, come back to center. Now we keep the left foot on the ground, bring the right ankle up onto the left knee. So you're just casually resting it there and lean. So this is the casual bit. You just lean the elbow onto that knee and press it towards the ground. So you can adopt the thinker pose, and surely nobody can complain at work if you're being the thinker, right? So we just gently encourage that knee towards the ground. Keep that right ankle flexed. Keep both sitting bones on the chair. So you want your whole butt on the chair. Try not to lean off to that side. And just take deep breaths here. So always, like if you are doing this just in a regular day, hold it as long as you like. Aim for at least 30 seconds. But obviously the longer you can hold it, the more benefit you're going to get from it. So we try to hold it as long as possible. But in the interest of continuing, so then we release, gently unwind, and switch it over. So now we bring the left ankle above the right knee. And again, just lean in. So use the elbow if you want to be a bit more forceful about it. So I know these, most offices have the wheelie chairs, so hopefully you can put some brakes on, or at least be really steady through that bottom foot. So you want to keep it planted on the ground. So try not to let the chair go rolling around too much. And keep the breath flowing. Good. And then we gently release the feet. Okay, so then we scoot forward on the chair. So this could be tricky if you do have wheels. We're going to take the feet out and try to keep the big toes on the ground. We inhale and exhale to fold it forward. So you can just rest the hands on the legs, folding to wherever your body will go. And just really feel the length of that lower back. So even if you need to bend the knees just a little bit to help you access the lower back rather than get it all in the hamstrings, then feel free to do that. So you just want to release and find some length through the spine. Because when we sit, we get this odd posture. Unless we've got our core switched on the entire time, which is not possible, we do all end up kind of slumping or slouching. So we open up through that lumbar spine a little. Keep the breath full. Stay connected. 3 more. So normally, obviously, you might have a desk in front of you, so you might need to turn around, and obviously you can't always hold it for as long as you'd like. But I invite you to hold it for as long as possible, even if you are still in a work day. And then from there, we slowly roll it up. Good, and then we take the legs out a little wider. So we're going for inner thighs. So again, fold it forward. So you may need to have something behind the chair to help stop it from rolling back, because you really want to be on the edge of your seat. If you're that excited, you're on the edge of your seat. And fold forward. Relax the shoulders and the upper body towards the ground. And keep breathing. So generally, when we're using the chair to aid our yoga or move the body, we're not using it as it's intended, as in we're not sitting in it like we would normally sit in the chair all day if we were working. So you might still be at the desk, but you're certainly not just sitting in your chair playing games or whatever. I don't know, I haven't worked in an office, to be honest. And then slowly coming up, bring the legs in, good, and coming up. Nice. So you want the feet hip distance apart. Okay, and then from there, lean in, hands to the feet, and just press the knees wide. So you can use the elbows and those calf muscles and just press them out. So we're just accessing those hips a little more, inner thighs a little more. So we deep breaths here. And keep the breath flowing. So we're kind of trying to find some peace in each pose as well. Slowly rolling it up. Good. And before we get up off the chair, because we're not just going to stay sitting in it, before we do get up, we're going to take the arms out wide, turn the thumbs towards the floor, so the palms face backwards, thumbs to the ground. We bring the hands out in front, bring the right wrist on top of the left, interlace the fingers, bring the hands in towards the chest, so you're coming under, come through, and reach out. So from that, you're actually working on extending. So you're trying to extend the arms. It may or may not happen. You might be still tucked up here. That's okay. I have very flexy, bendy shoulders and elbows, so if it doesn't look like mine, that's totally fine. Okay, so just breathe here. And with this one, you are going to find one side is going to be a little tighter than the other, just purely because we're generally, we have a dominant hand. And most likely, if you do have to deal with the office all the time, it's going to be your right side. It's going to be a little bit more tight. Unwind. Good. Release it. Thumbs to the ground still. Left wrist on top. So you will find the difference. This will either be easier or a little bit more challenging. So if we're constantly grabbing the mouse and then doing other things with the right hand, then the right hand's going to be tighter. Or the other way if you're left-handed. So remember, it doesn't have to be straight out. And keep the breath flowing. So still stay centered with that. So remember, the breath is one of the keys to relaxation mode. So we kind of connect to the breathing, and that will help us to flip to relaxation mode. So even if we are at the office or behind the desk, we can still find some peace and some zen. Good, and then we release it, unwind, nice, relax it. Now we reach the arms out once more. This time we bring the right elbow on top of the left. So we're going a little deeper into the back of the shoulders. So if you cross at the elbows and either bring the back of the hands together or grab a hold or palms press. So it's entirely up to your range of motion here. From there, lift the elbows, apologies for the mic, and pull the shoulder blades down. So shoulder blades pull down the back, elbows lift, hands move away from the face. So ideally you can feel that across the top and the back of the shoulders. Still working the breath. Good. So yes, we are holding them. Again, we are holding them quite long in this practice. but even just coming into them briefly when you're sitting at the desk can make a big difference, especially if you do it regularly. So that's kind of the idea, is to not just do it once and then never touch it again. So the more we can make it a bit more integrated into your normal life, reach the arms out, then bring the left elbow on top, bind, lift the elbows, shoulders down. So I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm sitting on a computer too long, my shoulders, my neck, I start to get really tired. Can't deal with it. So I actually need to move, and it makes a massive difference to how I feel. It means I'm able to sit there a little bit longer without losing my mind. Good, working the breath. Keep it full and slow. Good, and then we unwind, release it, relax it. Then one more for our arms, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper into arms. So we lift the right arm up. Exhale to bend that elbow, reach the hand down the back. So if you have the range to catch hands behind your back, then do so. If you don't, either grab a strap or a towel or anything, you've got a tea towel, anything that you can actually hold in one hand and grab with the other, or just take the left hand onto that right elbow. So it doesn't matter which option you do, we're just trying to get into that right tricep a little bit. And if you get the bonus internal rotation of the other shoulder and reach that up, that's fine. But most of us have decent internal rotation. It's more the external that we want to work anyway. Because sitting at a desk tends to create that posture with the internally rotated shoulders anyway. So we kind of don't need to necessarily work that too much. It's already sorted. And then gently release it, release the arms. Good, then left arm up, and either wrap that right arm around or right hand onto that left elbow. Pressing the hand down. So you're trying to bring the elbow in towards the center line and the hand further down the back. And then we pull the ribs in. I know I forget about that. We draw those in. Full deep breaths here. Put in two more. So the idea is to try and make your work day less taxing on your body. Because even if you are just sitting at a desk, it's actually one of the more taxing things you can do in terms of releasing, relaxing, in terms of creating odd posture patterns. So at least if you're up and moving about and working physically, you're probably a little bit better off in the sense that you've got better posture. But anyways, that's not the point. So now we come to standing. So we want the chair in front. So again, just be mindful if you do have a wheelie chair, you might want to push it in so it can't go too far. So the hands are resting on the chair. You're walking the body back. So I'm just going to make sure that I can actually keep my whole body in. So the hands rest on the chair, and it's almost like you're trying to pull against the chair. Pull the tailbone away from the chair. Send the chest towards the ground. So the neck is just long. So you may get a little of this into the calf muscles, into the hamstrings. You may not. It depends on flexibility, obviously. But this is also going to get into your armpit area, your triceps, your shoulders. Deep breaths here. And then just two more. Last one. Good, then we inhale to come up. Good, and from there, just step right foot forward, keep the left heel back, and bend into the right knee, but keep pushing into that left heel. So your heel might lift off the ground, that's okay, but we're really trying to get into that left calf muscle, left Achilles tendon. So you may feel it a lot sooner than I do, because obviously mine tend to be a little bit more floppy than your average person. So we breathe deep here, bend into that front knee. Relax the shoulders. I've just realized mine are climbing around my ears. 2 more here. Bend the front knee. Sink as low as you can. Try to keep the body upright. Last one here. Good. Then coming up. And we switch it over. So we step the right leg back. Left foot forward. Push through that right heel as you bend into that left knee. So try to keep length through that leg. Bend into the knee. Just 4 more breaths here. So be active through that back leg. As soon as you bend it, you're kind of going to start to lose a lot of the benefits of this. So really active through the leg. Bend that knee. Keep the body upright, the tailbone sort of tucked a little. And 1 more here. Good, then we come up, step it forward, and then we switch it over again. So this time really lifting that back heel, tuck that tailbone under. So you're really almost like you're trying to tilt the pelvis towards the chair, bend into that right knee, sink it down. So you're going as far as you can without losing that tilt. So I think one of the other classes I was talking about, imagine your pelvis is like a cup of coffee. It's full, it's hot, and you don't want to spill anything. So keep it upright. You don't want to change that. So we're really trying to access those hip flexors, which do get very tight when we sit. Good. And 2 more breaths here. Last one. Good, and then we come up and switch legs once more. So the right leg back. So before you bend, before you do anything, really get that steadiness through the pelvis. Keep that as you bend into the front knee. So you can use that chair back as support, or maybe your desk if that's going to be more stable. So really pushing through that back heel. So get that tailbone tucked. And sink in as much as you can. Access those quads and the hip flexors. So the more you tuck, the more you reach into those. Keep the breath flowing. It's key to that relaxation mode. You have 2 more here. And last one. Good. Right, and then we come up. So this one, especially if you've got a rolly chair, you might want to use the desk. Actually, you can do this. Okay, you can do this sitting on your chair and using the desk. So what it looks like if you were standing up, the elbows are on the back of the chair, or if you were sitting down, the elbows are on the desk. Press palms together if you can. And then you move your chair away. And if you like, working the thumbs towards the base of the neck as you sink the chest towards the ground. So that's what it's like if you were using the back of the chair. But you can do this sitting up. And you've got your elbows on the desk. And the same thing, you just push the chair away from the desk. Really try to pull those elbows towards each other. So rather than letting them flare wide, we try to pull them in and then find that open through the thoracic spine. So you're trying to get that opening through the front of the body and get a little arch through the thoracic spine. So whichever version you choose to do, whether it's on a desk or on your chair, just breathe into that. So really breathe into the sides of the ribs. And we just take 3 more there. 2, it's so novel having a chair. So used to grubbing around on the floor. And 1 more. Good, and then we gently release and slowly coming up, coming out of there. Shake it out if you need to. Then coming back to sitting on your chair. So we just work into a little bit of lateral flexion and the little QL muscle, which is that little muscle right in the lower back. You've got one on each side, pretty much on your kidney area, and that's another one that gets super tight when you sit all day. So we lift the left arm up and exhale without letting the left hip follow. Reach the right hand towards the ground, or you can grab a hold of your chair and actually draw yourself over. Be active with the left hand. Really feel the length in that waist, so really push down through that left hip. Feel the space in the waist. For 3. Keep breathing. 2. And last one. So now from here, we lean in, lean across, and hook the left elbow outside that right knee if you can. So you can either just interlace the hands or hands rest wherever they like, but if you like, press the palms together. Try to keep those knees even, and then just go into a little bit of a deeper twist, looking over the right shoulder. So by keeping the hips where they are and moving out of that, so that's kind of working into that QL area. So the equivalent of that is when we're laying on our back and we keep the knees together, we roll all the way to one side and then try to work the shoulder. Same thing. 1 more here. So then we inhale, come back to center, release the hands. Good, then we reach the left hand down, reach the right arm up, really press down through that right hip and reach. Feel the length in the waist. Try to keep the chest open. You do spend all of that time just kind of opening up through the chest, so try not to shut it down now. There's plenty more in your day that will probably do that, so we reach. Feel the length in the waist. Good. 2. And 1 more. Okay. Then we come up. Keep the arm up. Keep that length. Lean it forward. Hook the elbow. And find that twist. So the idea of showing you all of these different chair maneuvers is not that you do them all every day or every time you're sitting at your desk. The idea is to find the ones that really feel good for your body, the ones that your body just gets that, oh, thank you moment when you do it, and do those ones. So you'll know it when you get to the ones that your body needs. It will tell you. And so they're just tools in the toolkit, right, to help mitigate the problem of being behind a desk. Then we inhale to come back through center. Nice, and release the hands. And before we close, just that breathing practice. Even so, you could do this when you were still working. You wouldn't have to tell anybody you were doing it. Is that idea of inhaling for the count of, say, 4, and then exhaling for 6. So if your exhale is a little bit longer than your inhale, it could be 5 and 7, whatever it is. Just elongate the exhale a little bit longer than your inhale, and you'll help to flip yourself into a relaxation response. So you'll be much clearer in the mind if you can be in the relaxation response. Especially if you're getting super stressed, then we just get muddled and we bypass our prefrontal cortex, our logic, and we just go straight to the reptilian amygdala side of the brain which is not our finest. So the breathing practice and any of those moves, all of those, can help make your day a much more physically and mentally happy day. So thanks for watching. Well done.